If you are just joining us, say hello to us. Let us know who you are. Say hello. Share, share, share. We are live. Let them know on YouTube only. We are live on YouTube only. Say hello if you are joining us. Say hello, hello. Let me. All right. So we have about. All right. We are ready to jump on in. All right. Ashley and Kim, you all are parents of some wonderful, beautiful, amazing children that I actually have had the opportunity that I've seen all the wonderful things that they have been doing, that they have been involved in. So let's jump right on in. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how many children you have, what grade they're in. Let us know. All right, who wants to go first? It doesn't matter.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Kim Sumter. I currently reside in Georgia, married with two beautiful children. Mariah, who's the oldest, she's 11, and she's in the fifth grade. And then we also have TJ, who is 7, and he's in the second grade.
Wow. Now, what grade? You said Mariah's in? She's in fifth.
Fifth grade.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I remember when she was just like
A baby.
a baby. But I remember her, all her YouTube stuff that she was doing even as a little baby.
Yes. So she is growing up so fast.
Yes. All right. All right. So Ashley, let us know.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Ashley Hannah Williams. I am married in the Columbia, South Carolina area, and we have 2 children, like Kim, 11 and 7. The only difference is my 11-year-old is in middle school. She's in 6th grade, and my 7-year-old, he is in 7th grade. So the boy-girl duo, Kim, I am definitely here for it.
Wow. Okay. So your 11-year-old is in 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And the
Yes.
7-year-old
2nd grade.
is in 2nd grade. Wow. Okay. So is she ahead?
No, her birthday is February. So
okay.
it could be a difference, with the birthdays, but her birthday is February.
Wow. Well, listen, this is amazing. And thank you so much. As I said, you all are in the crunch of the new school year. So we are just going to have this discussion. And like I always say, you never know what would be a blessing to somebody else. So we just want to have a conversation. So let's talk. The first question I have, and it doesn't matter who wants to go first, is when you're looking at starting this new school year, a lot of things may be different. The first question is, what is your mindset going into the new school year when it's summertime and now it's 3 weeks, it's 2 weeks, it's 1 and it's gearing down? What is that mindset? Is it happy? Is it excited? I know some parents say, oh, I can't wait for them to go back to school. I was never that parent. I always wanted my kids, or I always wanted them around me. So, but I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but so let me know, what is that mindset? Is it nervous? Is it excited? Tell me. And it could be different at different stages, but who wants to take that question first?
I guess I can go first. I guess for me, my mindset was definitely on the fence because obviously I have a middle schooler now. So that's a totally different ball game. And not only is she in middle school, but she's also in the magnet program. So that's a totally different, curriculum from, her peers. So navigating that space with her, and with my son, he started a brand new elementary school this year.
Wow.
So that was a different side of things. And as a matter of fact, Miss Cheryl, you had Mrs. Hutcherson on last week, but he had Center for Achievement. So I thought that was amazing that you had her on here. Yes. But my mindset was definitely on sticking to a routine and open communication. That was really what I was focusing on.
routine and open communication. I love that. Yes. And our guidance counselor that was on, did you know that I don't know if you all had the opportunity to see that episode, but she shared that she's a guidance counselor in Dillon County for 4th and 5th grade. Their school is a little bit set up a little bit different. She said her school only houses 4th and 5th graders, but she said the work with the children begin day one because she has some 4th and 5th graders that are coming in crying.
Oh, wow.
That's what she said, that they're crying because just that adjustment from, from over the summer or coming from 3rd grade to this new setting. So, yeah. And I was like, wow, well, I guess. And then, I thought about it. I said, well, as an adult, myself going into a new setting, I might not be crying, but you can feel their heart racing. You feel the different emotions going on. So just them having an opportunity to navigate that. Oh, okay. All right, Kim, do you want to share?
Yeah. So for me, I think it's a little bit of mixed emotions, right? Because you have this sense of you want your kids to be successful, you want them to achieve everything, right? You're optimistic about it, but then there's also this nervousness. Because for me, I just want to make sure that I've done everything. I've crossed every T and dotted every I to make sure that they are as prepared as they need to be. And I think with us in shifting from Montessori to the private sector, it's more so they were year round since they were 2. So they've never experienced the summer break.
Oh.
So it was in a sense where, you have that level of comfort because they've done this continuously. So I wouldn't say that we didn't really have to prepare, but it was just kind of like starting another Monday when they were in my
Oh, wow.
So now I think this is where the nervousness actually kicked in this time around because
this was their first summer.
This was their first summer. So we did a summer camp, but it wasn't like, them being in school all the time. And so that I was very nervous. We were excited because we were starting a new school, a new journey for them, but it's just kind of the unknown, right? Because they never had homework, in Montessori. It was focused on more practical skills.
Wow.
Tests. They're not familiar with tests. So it was just kind of that that whole transition was really, it brought a bunch of nervous feelings, but we just did what we had to do, and they're transitioning pretty well. Yeah.
Wow. So how long have they've been in school a week? Kim, has it been a week for them?
They started August 5th.
August 5th. Okay.
They started August 5th.
Okay. August 5th. Okay. Wow. Okay. So it's been a few weeks. It's been a few weeks with them. So they are transitioning well. That is so good. That is so good. All right. So I love what you said, and you were honest. Hey, Chantel. Thank you for joining us. I love what you said that going in from Montessori into private, that it was really like nervous because not knowing the unknown. I think that is a big thing with just all of us, right? If not knowing what to expect, especially if it's something new. Like Ashley said, with her daughter going from I guess being in middle school and at 11 years old, and not only in middle school, but then the magnet part that she's different from her peers and her friends. So yes, so that unknown. Okay, so now we talked about the mindset. What about when you're preparing them for the new school year? When did you start preparing them? Like, is that something that you just say, hey, we just gonna roll into it by faith, or did you start preparing them? And then how did you prepare them? And parents, if you were on, Chantel, I know that you have Lady Bilbo, I know that you all have children in elementary school. When do you start preparing your children for the new school year, and how did you prepare them? Okay, as our ladies are about to answer that question, I want anyone in the audience, if you are just joining us, say hello, let us know who you are, say hello to us, and if you have any questions or you have any comments, any feedback, go ahead and let us know. But I'm asking a question to the audience as well. When do you start preparing, and when did you start preparing your children for the new school year, and how did you prepare them? You can talk, answer that question, whether spiritually, academically, emotionally, mentally. What are some of the things that you actually did to prepare them for this upcoming school year? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat, please. All right, ladies, when did you start? And then what did you actually do? How did you actually prepare them? Especially being that we have these new settings that you all in. Doesn't matter. We can start. Kim, let us hear from you.
All right, so can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Okay, so I started early, just because, and I'm gonna just kind of talk about kind of that transition from Montessori. So as I mentioned earlier, I felt like it was just kind of an ongoing thing, right? In Montessori, I never really had to. We knew what to expect,
Right.
and with their classrooms, they're in their classrooms for 3 years, so they have the same teacher, so it doesn't change for 3 years. So it was kind of like, it was the norm. We really didn't have to do a whole lot. But with this transition, we started early when we really thought through, when we knew that we were going to transition to a new school. And they were going to be in a more structured environment, so like purchasing planners, just not only for them, but for me to stay on top of things.
Right.
The introduction to more technology is we've also started that as well, because they didn't really have a whole lot of that.
That was going to be my question. So in Montessori, there's not a lot of technology. Everything is
they're a little old school with, as far as, and which is not bad.
No.
You're not going to Google anything. You're going to read, and you're going to look things up in a dictionary and to write a paper. So those types of things. And I knew that would probably change a little bit, with their new school. And just, attending the orientations, talking to their teachers, trying to understand what their expectations are, what our expectations are, if it's a good fit, just to make sure. So we started that early on in the whole touring process, just to make sure that they were kind of prepared and knew what to expect, and eliminate as much as we could the nervousness with them, because with kids, it's kind of, you got to start and take it little by little, way ahead of time, so that they can even feel more comfortable going into a new environment.
So did they have a lot of questions, a lot of concerns going into that new environment?
Mostly the oldest, Mariah. She had a lot of questions. And, with kind of going over everything with her to help her to understand, because it's completely different. They're not used to homework. They're not used to grading. It's a non-traditional grading system in Montessori. So how that would, work out, and then also friends, leaving her friends behind and meeting new friends, so
that was a big transition. Yeah. Has any of the other parents on here, children, experienced a big transition this school year? And about in the audience, any other parents? I see that Lady Bilbo, in answer to the question, she said, and when we're talking about how she preparing her children, she said getting bedtime back on track, start preparing her mind, and talk about expectations in school. All right, those are really good. That was one of the things that one of the admins said about, just making sure that when you're talking about their mind and the mindset of them and the parents. That's a lot, Kim. Now, Ashley, did your daughter, are the boys a little nonchalant?
So my situation is a little unique.
Okay.
Because with my son and him switching schools, I felt like the larger setting was not conducive to his learning style. So that is where the Center for Achievement came in. So
Okay.
just to break it down, in Richland County, there is an option where you can choice your child to go to a different school that is outside of your zoned schooling ratio. So with that being said, you're not subjected to the bus route. You would have to take your child to school and or pick them up in the afternoon or place them inside of an after school care. So with that being said, in Richland County, there are 4 options for a smaller setting for elementary age children that you can choose from, and you can rank them 1 to 3 on the choice application annually. So it's like a lottery. Like you put in an application and they select you on a lottery, style of choosing.
Okay. And what are those options for smaller setting?
So you have the Center for Inquiry, the Center for Achievement, you have the Center for Knowledge, and there's one more. I can't think of it right now, but there's 4 of them. And there's space throughout the entire district. And with that being said, for AJ, his transition started prior to him even ending first grade. Because with the lottery, you have to submit for at least the first round. You have to submit it by December of the prior school year. So for this school year that started August 2024, I had to submit my application December 2023. So I had an answer to that March of this year. So he knew that he was leaving the school in March.
So it would give him a
mentally, he went through the motions, like it would be random on a big Tuesday. He's getting ready for school. Mommy, I don't want to leave my school. Mommy, I don't want to leave my friends.
This was while he was last school term.
This was while he was in first grade. So as the school year started ending, I think those emotions were starting to set in for him. But thankfully for his friend group, I have their mom's number. So we communicate even outside of the school setting, so he can still foster those relationships. But even he knew this is not the setting that I need to be in. Like I need to be in a smaller setting. Like he's intellectual enough to understand that. So with that being said, and him understanding the larger goal, the transition wasn't hard because the Center for Achievement has a 1-month program that's from Monday to Thursday for the entire month of June. And it's from 8 to 12, Monday through Thursday. And he went to that program during the summer. So it was like a soft transition. So that he could get to know his teacher, he could get to know his peers, his administrative staff, all of that.
That's good.
So
That's
whenever
really
you
good.
say, when do we start the transition? We started December 2023 up until, the summer program this summer, and then school officially starting in August. And I love that they do that because it even gives me as a parent, a peace of mind to see how he works inside of this new setting outside of the academic school year, just to see if we need to make any adjustments or, we need to, come up with a game plan, different things of that sort. And with the school, it's an elementary school, but for for second grade, there's only 1 class. So for second grade, there's only 1 class. For third grade, there's only 1 class. I think
at where he's at now, at the center.
Where he's at now, yes.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So throughout the entire school, from 2nd to 5th, you may have at most 6-7 classes for the entire school.
Wow. What a big change.
That's huge.
Yes.
They partner with Kelly Mill Middle for their cafeteria, and they partner with Lake Carolina elementary school for the PE, the music, those extracurricular courses. So yeah, it was a big transition. Now I know for my daughter, it was similar because even with her magnet school, they hosted a 2-week program during the summer. So she got to work directly with her avid teacher, and she was able to meet some of her peers. Now with middle school, at least in Richland County, because I'm from Williamsburg County.
Right.
at least in Richland County, you have children from all over the district coming to this
Right.
one middle school.
Uh-huh.
Because, you know, as the children get older,
Uh-huh.
the amount of schools in that particular grade level decrease. So
Mhm.
you may have 20 elementary schools within
Mhm.
a 30-mile radius. But when it gets to middle school, now you may only can choose from 4
Right.
in the
Right.
entire district. And
Uh-huh.
then the high school, you may only can choose from 3.
Right.
You know,
Uh-huh.
so you know, with so many kids coming from all different walks of life and all different areas, I told her, you know, these are not the same children you went to school with from kindergarten to 5th grade.
Uh-huh.
You have children from all over, and everyone's teachings are not the same.
Right.
Everyone's values are not the same.
Mhm.
Everyone's morals are not the same. You have to know how to navigate those situations and those conversations accordingly.
That's good, because that was one of the things that I wanted to find out when as you're talking about that leads us into the discussion.
Mhm.
Kim, did you have to prepare her in that way? First, I want to say thank you for breaking that down, Ashley, because I've always heard Center for Knowledge, Center for Achievement. I never knew how they were actually set up. So that is amazing. And that what a way to begin preparing them. I love that it gave them, oh my goodness, January, February, March, April, May, July. Yeah, it gave them really 8-9 months to actually transition
Mhm.
and to prepare and to go because kids need to process the emotions and
Absolutely.
feelings and what is going on, right? Like it's not just, oh, okay, this is happening and they're good. No, the
Right.
same way with us, like how we're thinking about, oh, how's this going to be when I on a new job or something, right? How is
Mhm.
this, like they have it triple because we have some references and they don't have as many references as we do
Right.
to help them to say, okay, yeah, this is going to be good because it was like this with, when this
Mhm.
happened. So they don't have as many references. So they need that preparedness. So that is amazing. That is amazing. And Kim, I'm hearing parents say, yes, if you are just joining us, we're talking about how parents are preparing their children for the school year. We have Ashley Hannah Wims on, and we have Kim Sumter, and they are sharing with us. And we want to have this discussion with parents that are on. I have some parents that are in the audience that they were saying how they prepare their children by getting bedtime back on track, starting preparing their mind and the expectations. And then I see Chantel, Lauren Shaw, which is Chantel, and that is my sister-in-law. And I see that she said, I first prepared her with prayer, getting back on daytime schedule. Oh, 8:30 must be bedtime at 8:30, and getting back on doing that homework each and every evening, as well as 30 minutes of extra reading time. Okay, that is good. I like how you did the spiritual, the academic, all right. And then it says, I first started her with prayer because she needs that when she started back on getting her prepared on her bedtime schedule, homework every day, as well as reading 50 minutes extra a day. Okay. And so when did you start preparing her, Chantel? When did you start doing this? That's what I'm curious to know, when parents start preparing them, because I'll admit, I don't remember. My children are old, but I don't remember. I just remember doing consistently throughout the school year. I know with reading and trying to get them involved with things, but I don't remember because my children were homeschooled and in a private school setting for up until I think middle school. And after middle school, so they went to public school in middle school, and so they were homeschooled, so we didn't have to do a lot of preparing. I think it was a lot like Kim. It wasn't a lot of preparing. They did have socialization because there were other children and that were there, and parents that were homeschooling their children as well, and we brought them together in one setting. So Charity, look at her, talking about 8th grade. Yes, yeah, it was 8th grade. Thank you, Charity, for sharing. Yes, it was 8th grade when they when they went to public school. So, Kim, the question that I want to, and parents, let us know, has any of your children, because these are some major transitions that Ashley and Kim are sharing with us that their children has experienced. And this is really good because your child may have already experienced a transition, or they may experience one coming up. And these are some ways that they have begun to how they actually prepared them. Has your children actually experienced any major transitions going into this school year? Okay, so Kim, Ashley began to talk about how children are different and how they're coming from all walks of life, and their upbringing may not be the same. Their upbringing may not be the same. The things that they were taught may not be the same. How is that like? Because in Montessori, was that an issue or a concern in Montessori, Kim?
Absolutely.
It was still?
Yes. And I think, with anywhere, you're going to have certain challenges. And I just remember one example in particular with Mariah. She was very young. I think she was about 4 or 5. And we had a challenging situation with a racial comment from another kid. And I had to kind of address that, kind of leaving a lot of my emotions out of the picture.
Yeah.
And just understanding her feelings, and she's 4 or 5. So, I wanted to kind of ask, the basic questions of how she felt.
Right.
And just kind of teaching her how to navigate through that, her feelings, and helping her to understand, giving her that emotional support, but also helping her to understand that, like Ashley said earlier, like kids are different, everyone's different. And we actually did a little assignment to kind of reinforce that, of how, everybody's different from the outside, but God made us the same, and so that I can kind of get on her level to help her to understand. And then, just how she should handle it, if she was in that situation. This is how you treat people. This is why you're supposed to be nice to others, even all of us are different. So just, helping her to navigate through that. I just remember that one example, but yes, we have experienced it in the past.
Wow. So I guess, like you said, children and people are they're brought up different. It doesn't matter what educational setting that they may be in. There is always some type of opportunity or where things may come up. Things may come up because people are different, because families are different. That is so good. So now we're talking about this is some really good discussion. I'm learning a whole lot. It just with I would have thought that Montessori, because how many children would you say was in the Montessori classes?
Anywhere from 20 to 24 kids.
Okay. And then Ashley, where your children are now, I know that's a smaller setting. That is amazing how they have just like, it's almost like it is a small, what do you call it? Like hub school, that's
it
really.
It kind of resembles like a charter school in a way.
Yeah.
But for AJ's class, I think he told me there's 17 students in his class.
Wow.
So just 17 students in second grade. That's it. 17 students.
In the whole second grade.
In the whole second grade.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And wow, that is so good. That leaves a lot of room for a lot of one-on-one with that the children may need. Because versus, I think where the setting where he came from, there were like about how many children?
So the difference with that is there was still around 17, 18 students in his classroom last year. It's just the teacher isn't spanned across different classes. So let's just say, for instance, if there's a sub inside of the next first grade class over, then she's also checking in on that class to make sure that they're doing their work as well. So I feel like in a larger public school setting, the teachers are not only just responsible for their own classroom, like they may need to pitch in where there's a shortage as well.
Yes.
So I felt like even outside of that, I also felt like my son was not culturally connecting to his teacher and
Mhm.
to the staff, period.
Mhm.
So for
Mhm.
me as
Mhm.
a parent, I saw a red flag because I also want my child to feel safe and heard
Yeah.
and, you know, open to communicate about anything.
Mhm.
So when I looked at the demographic for the Center
Mhm.
for Achievement, I knew that he could culturally connect
That's good.
as well as receive education as well.
That's good.
Because he's with them 8 hours a day. Like,
Mhm.
he needs to be
Mhm.
able to feel comfortable with whoever he's with.
Yeah.
So I needed him to feel culturally safe. And that
Mhm.
and that was a great move for him because I had never heard my son say, "Mommy, I want to go to school." Like, he
Wow.
has said that more this summer into the school
Wow.
year than his entire career as a student. So for
Wow.
me, I knew that I made the right choice.
Mhm. Hats off, because as parents, sometimes we have to make some really tough decisions, right?
Mhm.
Like, moving from Montessori to Christian, moving from that setting into that smaller setting. And as much as he was like, why I have to leave my friends, you knew as a parent what was the best thing
Mhm.
for him. Hats off to parents. Listen, parents that are in the audience, you parents that are on, hats off, because, and actually, I like what you said, that you were thinking also about culturally, like how he was able to adjust culturally. Kim, has that been a factor in some of the things that you had to look at?
It has. I think there was a lot of disconnect when they were in Montessori.
Uh-huh.
And so, just kind of shifting gears there. There's still an adjustment for them because, again, they have been in this environment since they were 2.
Wow.
So outside of that, they were, I mean, culturally disconnected. They were. And so now, and that in itself is a transition for them as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
and so, yeah, it's been a challenge, but we're pushing through it.
Right. And it has its pros, it has its pros, because we know that even with technology, if it's not monitored properly, that I've seen so many things online now and reading so many things about what technology does in terms of speeding up their brain to uh, uh, at a pace where they are not able to even slow down enough to even comprehend what it is that they're reading, and how it's just even before 2 that they should not even be exposed. And most of our parents are guilty of that, right? Including me, my grandkids, right? But so there are some pros, as you know, to with that setting, Kim. In there, I know there may have been a cultural disconnect, but there definitely has been some positive things, for that. A lot of positive,
Absolutely.
because I remember when was it Mariah that was saying the continents, all the continents, when
Yeah.
she was like, oh my
Two.
goodness, like 2, 3. I was like,
They were definitely in a place academically that I don't regret. I
yeah,
think that it prepared them very, very well,
uh-huh.
academically. And
Mhm.
I really appreciated that over the years. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really good. Okay. So listen, I see we're as we were talking about the children, and the children are different. That's how to answer the question that I had about dealing with, with children that may be mean, because that was one of the things that parents say, that children are just mean. All right. I don't know, parents, if you're just joining us, we're talking about how you all are preparing your children for the upcoming school year. And as parents, we want you all to engage in this discussion. We'll be on like another few minutes, but how have you been preparing? Lauren, Lady Bilbo gave some really good questions. Now, how do you prepare yourselves to be able to balance those things for the new school year? All right. Parents that are in the audience, we're going to ask Ashley and Kim, but I want to know, how are you as parents? Because we as parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, the village, we have so many additional responsibilities, right? But we also then, when school starts, that's added things. We're talking whether, and that's even across the board, from homeschool to private school to public school, because even my homeschool friend has shared, she said, I'm all over the place taking, I have 4 children, I'm taking one to dance, one to STEM class, one to so to get that extracurriculum things. And so how do you prepare yourself to be able to balance all of those things? What do you do? All right, audience, think about it. Let us know. Bilbo, Chantel, let us know. Anyone else that's on, please say hello to us. Let us know that you are on. All right, let us know that you are on. Say hello to us. All right. Whoever wants to start first, Ashley or Kim, how do you prepare yourself?
Well, for me, I think I'm still trying to master this, Cheryl.
So this is a whole like different for you.
Yes, routine is very much important in our household. Schedules, routine.
I'm laughing because Lady Bilbo said much prayer.
Listen, yes, definitely.
Because she's an author. I know what she does. Like, she's an author. She helps people with books. She does podcasts, and then she has her baby that's involved in a lot of things too. Yes. So yes, much prayer. All right. Go ahead, Kim. So you said you were
No, go ahead. What was your question?
No, I was saying, so you said you are still trying to work this out.
I'm still trying to work through this to this day. But I think just establishing a consistent routine when it comes to their schedules, mealtime, bedtime, work time, quality time, all the things. So, because just trying to juggle so many obligations, being a full-time worker, mom, entrepreneur, everything. And just, I think that's the only way
you all have your own center for adults.
Yes.
Development. Yes. Mm-hmm. So you have that. And so, yeah, you and Ashley both are entrepreneurs as well and work your jobs and your parents. So, yeah, so that is something that we have to definitely find out, like, what is it that parents do? Because sometimes we can get overboard one way or the other, right? Where we're disconnected, we're just like, okay, go ahead and do that, whatever. I'm just in the moment. I'm just passing time, doing what I know I need to do. And then sometimes it can be where I'm forgetting about myself, and then I'm just overly indulged. And then when I forget about just taking, some me time and just breathing. So yeah. So you said routine, mealtime, you said all the times, quality time. Right.
Everything. I think for me, that's the only way that I can try to make sure that all of the obligations are met, when it comes to, the family and everything, just kind of establishing that routine. And I think what I've also had to implement, where we all have checklists, like the kids created a checklist, things that they would, as far as their routine when they come home, and I let them create it. And
I love that.
We're checking off everything that, they need to get done. And that also teaches them independence, around that mommy doesn't have to tell you what you need to do next. Go to your checklist so that I can then take care of what I need to get to, so we can all come to mealtime together. So
I love that. So you still try to make sure that you all have mealtime together.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's a little off.
Right. I know. But that's the goal.
That is the goal. Yes.
I love the checklist idea, though. I was a checklist person with my kids too. Like, I don't know if Chad remembers, checklist on the door. Check off what you. Because it did. That was. Yeah. I see that. Okay, Christina. I see we have some comments. Christina says, I'm just a part of the village, but indeed much prayer for the parents. Also having lots of patience in school traffic. Well, Kim, Atlanta traffic. Do you have to?
Let's not even go there. Yes. I mean, well, the school that they're in now, thankfully, we don't have to take the main highway. But traffic is a real thing in Atlanta. So yeah, we're trying to, and I'm also now just starting to get used to the car line. Although my husband takes them to school pretty much every morning, but I've seen that the car line is a real thing. So that I've heard about.
That the parents are talking about online, the car
Right.
line. So you have to now experience the car line. That is definitely a lot of transition from one setting to another. Charity says, I definitely remember with the big eyes, the checklist. Yes, the checklist. We have to have a checklist because that's how I keep up with it too. All right. So Kim, you said some really good things, and I love the checklist and having them to be able to do that themselves. That is good. And making sure, like you said, scheduling everything in there. I saw someone else had a comment. Who was it? Lady Bilbo that said, okay, she said that, okay, let's go back up. Oh, yes, that's it right there. I'm an organizer, planner, and I must keep a calendar. Take one day at a time, but in that the week is planned out. Okay. So she takes one day at a time, but the week is definitely planned out on there. So it looks like parents these days have to have a calendar. They can't live without cannot live without a calendar. All right. And I see, what else did she say? What else? Comments? Yes, let's go to other comments. We started like 3 weeks before school began. Thank you, Chantel, for sharing that. Okay, she started 3 weeks getting adjusted with the reading, and her daughter was placing gifted and talented, and she wants her to stay strong. So, as well as the other areas. Excellent, Lauren. Great job, Lauren. Yes. So, and so that's why she started ahead of time, wanting to make sure that she stays strong there. And so mealtime together every night. Okay. That is awesome. Lady Bill will say mealtime together every night. That was one thing I struggled with. I remember. I must say that. All right, what else? Christina just laughed at. Yeah, she's her mom had checklist. All right, so checklist was in a long time ago. All right, the admin in me is proud of the parents with the calendar. All right, Ashley, what are you doing? Is it similar? The things that you're doing, and I want to say, because Kim, you're going from everything being in one place with Montessori to now this whole different. So you had to. Is this the first time you had to have like a calendar with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were, like I said, it was the same thing, same class for 3 years. Now Mariah's changing classes, homework, assignments. So we need to be able to keep up with all of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
okay. All right. I just want to know that. All right, Ashley, what about you? We are going to be wrapping up. Go ahead.
Well, for me, Miss Cheryl, to be honest, I had to acquire a work from home job because on top of being an entrepreneur, I also have 9 to 5. Like I also have my own career. So going into the office was too much for me. Like I was overwhelmed. I felt like everything was just a hamster wheel. So I was like, something has to change. But I didn't want to give up my career, but I knew something had to change. Yes. So I went into healthcare marketing, and I do research for them from home. I work a hybrid schedule, which I started back in December, something about December 2023.
Right.
I started back in December, and it's been amazing for me, my family. It seems like everyone is a lot more relaxed. And it seems like we can think just a little bit more. Yes. And I really don't remember my life being this busy as a child. Like, I'm not sure what happened, but I do know that my daughter, she does do travel volleyball as well. So on top of her being an athlete, and my son doing his recreational sports, YMCA with the county rec, a calendar. My husband and I, let me tell you one thing. If it's not in the calendar, it does not exist.
That's me.
If it's not in the calendar, it does not exist. And it's so bad. We even wrote my daughter in on the calendar. Like, and anybody got anything to do on Saturday, the 13th, 5 p.m.? Like it's terrible. Like we have to schedule dates with the family just to, relax and have fun. But dinner every night as a family is a must, hands down. Like
that was so
whatever it
good.
is.
I
We
love
actually
that.
do dinner every single night. But yes, so sticking to the routine, having the calendars, me now working from home, I'm able to be more flexible for my children. Instead of them maybe going to after school, they can just, my daughter, at least she can ride the bus home. My son, I do have him in after school because sometimes I just can't commit to picking him up at 2:30. So with that being said, just creating that flexibility for yourself without giving up too much of yourself.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to give up my career. That's just not something that I ever want to do.
Right.
So that was one way that I found myself being flexible.
I love that. So Charity, I hope you heard that. That was one of the things that we have been talking about whenever, just as parents, sometimes we make those transitions, and she has been entertaining the idea of a work from home job, just like to get out of that rat race of everything that she has going on right now, and traveling and with the baby and trying to find someone and she's commuting so far and having to find, childcare. So that was one of the things that I, as a friend of mine said, hey, you might want to encourage her. She said, confirming for sure.
I supported Charity.
Yeah. And I love what you said, that it gave you a moment just to be able, just a little extra breather in there.
Yes.
Just that little extra breather. And that is so important, because then in terms of preparing, okay, let's see, Chantel said getting extra rest by going to bed at 8:30 as well as prayer daily. Yes, that prayer. Chantel said, listen, and that rest. What is your bedtime schedule for your children?
10 I thought you were talking about me. I'm like, Miss Cheryl, 10 o'clock, my eyes are closed. 10 o'clock. Yeah. But for my kids, it's 8:30.
What time do you get up, Ashley?
Around 5:45.
Okay. So what is that a non-negotiable? That's my question. We're getting into our last question. What are some non-negotiables for you all?
Sleep.
Whether your children or for you, parents that are on, what are non-negotiables for you all? Yeah, I have a problem sleeping. Lady Bilbo does not. I do. I won't say I have a problem sleeping. I just have a problem of going to. It's not a matter of whether I'm tired. It's just a matter of me getting myself in the bed to go to sleep.
You sound like my husband, Miss Cheryl.
I'm with you. I am there. I go to bed so late and get up at 3 something every morning, and I'm running all day. But I think
you get up at 3 something every morning.
About 3:15, because I go to the gym. That's the only time I can. That's the only time I can get my me time, and I think that's for me. That's a non-negotiable for me. Like I have to have some part in the day where I'm doing what I enjoy. For me,
I'm gonna look down here for a minute. I'm going to look down here.
Yeah.
Because Kimberly, you get up at 3. Now I believe in not at what time?
At 3:15.
And how long are you there?
I don't do it mostly Fridays are my days where I stay at the house. But 3:15, I go to the gym. I work out from 4:45.
3 a.m. is diabolical.
I work out from 4:45 to 6:30. I come home.
And that's on how many days a week is that?
Usually on average about 4, Monday through Thursday.
What?
Monday through Thursday, you get up at 3.
About 3:15.
I want to make sure I'm understanding this. You get up about 3:15 and you drive to the gym, and you work out from 4:45 until 6:30.
Wow. Wow.
And by the time I'm back, My husband is getting them ready. Of course, we have clients, so I'm getting breakfast, lunch prepared, everything, so that I can jump on my laptop to check in for work.
Because you work from home too, is that correct?
I
That's
do.
what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Listen, Charity, the work from home. Listen, I work from home too, and I love it. I work
Yes.
from home, and I love it. My husband and I have our own business, and I love it. I was a teacher. You all know I taught for 8 years, but working from home is I love it. Like you said, it's that flexibility to be able to do those things that need to be done. So we have a lot of
Recommend.
you all listen. Christina, not having that travel time makes a huge, yes, it does.
Yes, it
Makes
does.
a huge difference with the work from home job. You don't realize it until you start. Listen, that commute, that is, yes. That it makes a big difference. Lady Bilbo says she's in bed 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Lord help me, I have to do better. She said she'd get up before 5 a.m. Charity already said 3 a.m. is just out of the question for her. Chantel said, wonderful topic on tonight. Yes, heaven help us with the 3 a.m. My mom said children should be in bed by at 8:30. She's talking about me because of my grandkids. She always tells me when they come to their grandparents 8:30, they don't have to be in bed, mommy. Okay. Listen, I am working on a routine, you all. Okay. Maybe that's the key to being skinny, huh? Okay, listen, this is really good. We are wrapping up. Okay, I need to check my heart for my gym dedication. Kim has just checked us all. Okay, Kim has
checked every last one of us.
Every last one of us. Okay, Ashton. All right, what does Mr. Ashton said? It has been reported that people save between 1 to 3 hours per day by working from home. I agree. I believe it, Ashton. I believe that because it just having to prepare and get up and get everybody in the car, and yeah, I mean, I know that you still have to take your kids, but even getting yourself together to have to go to a job, like that's a whole lot in addition to taking the children, getting yourself and making sure that you are ready. That's it. That's where that 1 to 3 hours comes in at. That's amazing. 1 to 3 hours. You all, this has been really good. As we are closing, I want you all to be thinking of any last words that you want to share with the parents. Audience, I want you to go ahead and be typing in there chat, back to school prepared. Back to school prepared is our hashtag, back to school prepared. All right. I want to say thank you all so much, parents. Hats off to parents. Our audience, Ashley and Kim, hats off, because there's so many things that we can see that we have to navigate as parents, as grandparents, as the village. And we might not make all the right choices, like bedtime for myself on the weekends with the grandkids. However, hats off to parents. Even the reading time, as Chantel said, the prayer time, the routines, the calendars, as Ashley and Kim spoke about, just making those decisions, those tough decisions of knowing what's best. And hats and shoes off to parents. That's right, Christina. Hats and shoes off to parents of especially elementary age children, especially our elementary age children, because listen, they are so much that's going on in their little brains and processing, and so being able to be, as Miss Hutchinson said in that and when she was talking about us being able to be mentally prepared for them, is going to help them. Us being in a great mental space and having ourselves where we need to be is going to help them. So that's why I wanted to know how our parents are preparing themselves. Bilbo going to bed at 8:30, not making sure the sacrifices that parents have to make. And it's a lot the moms, right? We know that dads make sacrifices too, but the moms, we run it, and dads we're not taking away from the dads too, but that schedule and like Ashton said, if it's not on that calendar, it's not going to happen, right? I want to tell you, as we are closing, I want to say that make sure if you have, I have our Kidpreneur Spotlight on next Tuesday. So everybody join in to see our Kidpreneurs. Don't miss that opportunity for your child to participate if you have a Kidpreneur. Also, we are so excited that our kids are going to be having their own little episode called Find Your Voice Fridays. So it's coming this month. Find Your Voice Fridays. They're going to be having the discussions like what we're doing. We're going to be having those discussions with the children. So we want you, if you have elementary age children, grands, nieces, nephew, get them to listen on. We'll let you know when that's coming up. And just begin. Don't forget, share our YouTube channel, subscribe. Okay. I want you all find somebody. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you have not gotten one other person to subscribe, get one other person to subscribe as we are getting into the school year, because it's almost time for Latoya Bilbo to go to bed. Okay. Listen, as we are preparing for this episode to close, we want to hear last words from Ashley and Kim. What do you have to say? Kim and then Ashley. What do you all have to say as parents? Last words for our parents that are looking.
Yeah, so I just want to say, oftentimes we forget, although we juggle so much and we do so much for our children, we forget to remind ourselves that we're doing a great job, that God has prepared us for this. Mm-hmm. He has entrusted us with two beautiful kids, and for many other mothers on here. So I think a lot of times we have to stop and think that we are doing what God wants us to do with our children, whether it be teaching them the skills or teaching them different values and anything to help them in the future. And understand that, yes, it's important to prepare them all the time, but when these kids get older, they're going to remember, they're going to think back and say, Mom, she did everything that she could for me, to be where I am today, and Dad as well. So I just wanted to say, don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing a good job, and just keep doing what you're doing, and they'll never forget. They won't.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. Thank you so much, Kim. They won't forget how you made them feel, how they felt during that situation. So that's so good. And the sacrifices that you made. All right, Ashley.
For me, I would have to say, find one person as a parent, find one person that you can bounce ideas off of, and one person that you can possibly vent. Because at the end of the day, we are human beings too. And our children's problems are also our problems. And we also need a mentor. We also need someone that we can confide in. We need someone that, we can talk certain situations through. For me, it's my husband. Me and him talk about everything. If I'm stressed, if I'm feeling the type of way, if I'm not understanding, something that may be happening with the children, I'm not understanding why Ashley has an attitude all of a sudden. Can you talk to him? Or, AJ has really been struggling with, reading. Is it possible that you can take a few minutes out of your day to assist him tonight, or just talk it through, see what's going on at school. Yeah. So just having that one person that you can confide in is very important as a parent, because we are human beings too.
Yeah.
And we need assistance.
Yes. And it takes a village. It takes a village, and having that one person that knows you, knows the children, right? And that's going to give you an honest, not what you want to hear, but tell you what you need to hear. That's important. All right, listen, this has been amazing. We have our parent prayers. Don't forget, they are on our Facebook page and they're on our YouTube channel. These are parent prayers. We have declarations for the children. Am I right? Let's see. I think we have student declarations that they can say they have the scriptures. Don't forget they're there. Listen, I enjoyed this. Kim and Ashley, stay on. Everyone else, until next time, remember to light it up.